What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. So today's WWE video is going to be interesting. Very, very interesting, because there is a lot to talk about, including the latest on a potential in-ring return for not just Samoa Joe, but CM Punk as well. As crazy as it sounds. We also found out that there is going to be even more changes to the WWE Network. A potential opponent for AJ Styles at SummerSlam. And also, WWE is going to be returning to normal, sort of. And by that, as we get into that article now, I mean that they are moving all of their programming to the Amway Center in Orlando. As crazy enough as it is. This is going to be their new normal for a cool minute. So big shout outs to Andy Murray for this this article. And it reads, "Are you sick and tired of WWE's Performance Center shows? If so, here's some news that will surely prompt a sigh of relief. WWE is on the verge of moving all programming from the Performance Center to Orlando, Florida's Amway Center. Multiple sources have confirmed. The Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer notes that WWE will make an imminent announcement confirming that SummerSlam 2020 will go down in the basketball arena on August 23rd, though there won't be any fans in attendance." That's not good. I'm just going to stop right there and say that we need fans. If they're going to have people inside the Amway Center, they might as well have a couple of the trainees at the performance, who are training at the Performance Center, show up to the show itself. Which honestly would have made a lot more sense. WrestleVotes has gone one step further by reporting that every WWE show after this week's Raw will go down in the Amway Center. This means fans could be free of the sight of the PC as soon as August 21st, which will be SmackDown, and August 19th, which will be NXT. Has already been taped. Oh, as soon as the 21 August SmackDown and the 19 August episode of NXT has already been taped at the train facility. Okay. I didn't get that one. There's also talk via PW Insider that WWE is considering using virtual fans at upcoming events, taking a page out of the NBA and MLB's books. This would mean beaming in footage of individual fans watching the show from elsewhere, though it should be noted that Meltzer believes this won't be in place for SummerSlam, as he reports WWE will surround the ring with PC recruits as they have been doing for the past few months. Yeah, so I already knew. Yeah, okay, so obviously having the trainees at the Performance Center is obviously the smartest thing to do. Truth be told, though, I will admit, having shows at the PC was rather interesting. It was rather interesting, but now they no longer. But now that is no longer the case. So as of potentially next week, all the shows are going to be inside the Amway Center in Orlando, which I believe is a pretty good distance away from the beach, which obviously too with Hurricane Isaiah's coming in, it's a pretty smart decision. Although I will admit, though, they should have moved it a little bit up north instead of keeping it in Florida. But that's just my honest opinion. But it is what it is. Honestly, though, I think this is an incredible idea. Getting the shows to to take place, inside a actual arena that's not the Performance Center. Honestly, I think is an excellent idea. It's an excellent idea. I think they could do a lot more. Than when they had the shows inside the performance center. So, alright, you guys. Now, Samoa Joe and CM Punk returning. Both of these articles are going to be in one whole thing. So, shoutouts to Andy Murray from What Culture for this article, and also shoutouts to. Let me see if I can get to that one. Really? So I'm not allowed to. Okay, hang on. Hang on. Wow. Okay, so apparently my laptop likes to be a bitch. So let's go. Let's go. Come on. Give me that article. Let me find. Give me that article. There you are. So shoutouts to Andy Murray from What Culture and Liam Winnard from Wrestle Talk for these articles. Apparently, CM Punk has dropped a hint of a big WWE return, and this one says here. If anyone has seen the latest tweet of CM Punk, you've probably been waiting for us to cover this, and here we are doing just that. Okay, so shoutouts to Liam for for writing that part. That was pretty funny. In what is more than likely just another playful comment from Punk, he's hinted that he could be involved with the new Retribution faction that has appeared on WWE TV over the last week. It started when CM Punk advised Rey Mysterio to shave Seth Rollins' head to get payback for what Rollins and Murphy did to his son Dominic on Raw. The WWE on Fox Twitter account then shared Punk's comment, and he replied, "I'm just saying, I know a thing or two about Retribution." Yeah, I'm not even gonna say anything just yet. In a rather clever play on words, Punk included the name of the new group that has created chaos on both Raw and SmackDown over the last 8 days. Probably smirking to himself, knowing that sites like us are going to make a story out of it, and well, here it is. To reiterate, yes, we do know he's not serious, so you don't need to tell us. Okay, so if CM Punk does come back, I think, and I don't mean like a WWE, a show that is affiliated with WWE, but not entirely. I mean, legitimately have him come back to the ring. I think it's incredible. I think he could really. He hardly did anything. The first time he was in WWE, his last run. I mean, sure he won. I mean, sure, he's a 3-time world champion and a former ECW champion, a former Intercontinental champion, and a former tag team champion, and a 2-time Money in the Bank winner. Yes, but those were just the small things. Those were just the small things that he did, and I feel like as if he were to come back to WWE, odds are I mean, he could potentially, instead of being out there for himself, he could be there for the new talent, for the younger talent that we have on Raw and SmackDown, like Cedric Alexander and Ricochet and the Viking Raiders, Mojo Rawley, and who else can I name? Riddick Moss and Matt Riddle, Baron Corbin, whatnot. I think he could really do a good amount of work with the younger talent in WWE, and this actually ties to Samoa Joe's return. So apparently he says, again, shoutouts to Andy Murray, Samoa Joe could soon swap the WWE announce booth for the ring once again. This is according to Raw superstar MVP, who dropped the following quote in a new interview with Newsweek. He said, quote, "What I understand, Samoa Joe is going to be back in action, and over the years, Samoa Joe and I have been great friends, but we've never ever faced each other. At this stage of my career, I feel like a lot more confident facing him. I'm him knowing that I got Bobby and Sheldon backing me up, but I also... Okay, so I think did I cover this one? Okay, no I didn't. Okay, no I didn't. Okay. I don't think I did. Backing me up, but I also know that wouldn't face Joe at the least. Joe versus MVP sounds like a pretty sick match if WWE can put it together. The former United States Champion hasn't wrestled since February 2020. Has been a run year for him. Since February 2020 has been a run year for him, bringing a 30-day suspension for violating the wellness policy and for multiple injuries, including a concussion suffered while filming a WWE commercial. A horrible string of luck. So here's hoping better times lie in his near future. Joe has been aligned with Kevin Owens in his feud against Seth Rollins' stable prior to his hiatus. Recent weeks have seen him clash with the Monday Night Messiah several times, so Rollins may make sense for Joe's first feud back. Okay, so obviously Samoa Joe coming back is incredible. We all know how good Joe is. He's a former two-time NXT champion. Hang on. Oh, never mind. He's a former two-time NXT champion. He's a former two-time United States champion. He's done a good amount in WWE, and I think he could really do a lot. Obviously for him to come back, he could do a pretty good amount in WWE, considering the fact that Samoa Joe, as that article said, Joe's been out for quite some time. He's been out for a while now. He actually did several. He has been, he's been doing commentary with Tom Phillips and Byron Saxton for a while now, for the last few months. Which I think started at like Backlash or something like that, somewhere around there, and now that he's back in the picture with Seth Rollins, I feel like as if having those two feud together after Seth's match with Dominic Mysterio at SummerSlam would be the more optimal option, would be the more optimal booking, but it all depends on how it gets booked leading into SummerSlam. So hopefully it does work out, and hopefully Samoa Joe does get back into the ring, because there are fans out there who don't like the Monday Night Messiah. Alright, you guys. So now, big changes coming to the network. Yes. So you guys are probably thinking, what is it? A new update or something? No, it is actually not a new update. It is actually something else. It is something else. So shoutouts to Michael Sidgwick. I probably butchered that name. And these ads can go fuck themselves for this article. And the changes that I mean is this. After what feels like years of rumors, all of which were swiftly followed by Vince McMahon has changed his mind, in quotes, which indicates that you probably shouldn't get too excited about the latest long-term storyline idea. Content from select affiliate independent companies is on its way to the WWE Network. Starting this Saturday, among these promotions are Germany's West Side Extreme Wrestling, the spiritual home of Walter, and one of the most legendary brutally disgusting matches in the history of the business. Sick fucks will want to search for Walter Ilya Dragunov the very second that shit drops, bypassing, of course, the mid as all the hell NXT UK. Okay, that's pretty fun. That's a pretty funny one. England's Progress Wrestling was strongly informed the now imploded Brit Boom evolved from the US, which alongside Pro Wrestling Guerrilla shaped the very complexion of modern professional wrestling to much acclaim in its early years. Scotland's Insane Championship Wrestling rounds out the first belated wave of affiliate independent content, but parallel rumors persisted that WWE had reached out to other non-affiliated promotions for the express purpose of purchasing or renting their archives. Okay, so I honestly don't know much about Westside Extreme Wrestling, or Insane Championship Wrestling, or ICW. I do know a little bit about Progress Wrestling and also Evolve. I do know a little bit about them, because I know that all three that Walter has competed in Progress. Storm competed, Tony Storm competed in Progress. In fact, also, if I remember correctly, she's also the first ever Progress Women's Champion. As crazy enough as it is, I know that Dragunov was there, British Strong Style. I think that the Coffee Brothers, Mark and Joe Coffey, went there. Evolve Wrestling, you got pretty much everybody who's in NXT in the main roster: Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, Drew Gulak, Cedric Alexander, Keith Lee, Drew McIntyre, just to name a few. So this is gonna be and also too Austin Theory, who we haven't seen in a few months. I think because of the fact that he got suspended, which I did talk about that in a different video. You guys can definitely check out that. And then also too, ICW, Scotland, which is in Scotland. Obviously, when you think of Scotland, you think of Jordan Devlin, who's in Ireland, which is like near Scotland. The Coffee Brothers. Who else can I name? Noam Dar, McIntyre. Again, I mentioned. Honestly, this is incredible. I think having these promotions in the archives of the WWE Network would be incredible, because now the fans can get a taste of what the roster is now, on Raw and SmackDown and 205 Live, NXT UK, what they're really about. So this is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant. This is a brilliant way for WWE to give indie fans, for that matter, a taste of what they can expect once everything starts to come back into the world. Everything comes back to normal, and we can, and then and eventually some of those superstars could potentially get signed, like Josh Briggs, JD Drake, what have you. I would not mind seeing Josh Briggs get called into NXT. Or I would not mind that at all. JD Drake, I would not mind seeing that. That would be incredible. That would be awesome. So it's a pretty awesome idea, and an excellent way. Again, it's an excellent way for WWE to showcase to the fans, to the WWE universe, how good indie wrestling is and what they can expect in the foreseeable future once everything starts to come back to normal from this pandemic. Okay, no. I don't want to go to another website. No. No, I don't want Home Depot. Fuck off. Fuck you, ad. Thank you. So, okay, that being said, the big question now is, who is going to be AJ Styles' opponent for his Intercontinental title at SummerSlam? At this point, it's hard to say, but according to Andrew Puller from What Culture, he writes, with AJ Styles' Intercontinental Championship reign having now clocked in at the 2-month mark, there's news on who the Phenomenal One may be defending the gold against at this month's SummerSlam pay-per-view. According to PW Insider, supposedly it's going to be Jeff Hardy's. Supposedly Jeff Hardy is going to be stepping up to challenge Styles for the title at SummerSlam. Going further into that theory, if you will, PW Insider has also reported that this feud will kick into gear on this week's episode of SmackDown, which is actually being recorded at the Performance Center today. Okay, so obviously it was so again, this was posted yesterday, but you guys know me. You guys know me. I always balance out the videos I make for WWE and for YuGiOh. I always balance them out just to keep up, just to keep the consistency of this channel. So it's an excellent way to get things rolling. But again, again, this was posted yesterday. So on that day, this was again it was being taped. Jeff Hardy is fresh off a booze-soaked rivalry with Sheamus that culminated with the charismatic Enigma defeating the Celtic Warrior in a bar fight, in a barroom brawl, a bar fight basically. As for Styles, since beating Daniel Bryan to become champion on June 8th, on the June 8th SmackDown offering, Phenomenal One has successfully... Styles has successfully retained the title against the likes of Matt Riddle, Drew Gulak, and Gran Metalik. Right now, the card is as follows. Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. The Fiend Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman for the Universal title. Asuka versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's title. MVP versus Apollo Crews for the United States Championship, and of course, Garza and Andrade against the Street Profits for the Raw Tag Titles. And we also know that Bayley will also defend her SmackDown Women's title as well, but it will be against the winner of a tri-branded battle royal, which will feature superstars from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So we'll see superstars like Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan and Naomi. I believe Rhea Ripley is. Rhea Ripley is supposed to be there as well. I know that if I remember correctly, I believe I think Lacey Evans is gonna be there. I know Mandy Rose is gonna be there because Bayley had posted a video on Twitter holding Otis's arm, and Otis was like, nope, I ain't touching her, nope. And Mandy Rose was pissed. She was pissed. So honestly though, seeing you know what, I would not mind seeing Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. But honestly though, I think at this stage in Jeff Hardy's career, as much of a big fan I am of Jeff Hardy I feel like as if Jeff Hardy needs to step away from the title picture for a little bit longer, because what AJ Styles is trying to do as the Intercontinental Champion is he's trying to essentially give the younger talent the opportunity to win the title. Like, obviously he did that for Matt Riddle. He's done that for Gran Metalik. He's done that for Drew Gulak. So for Jeff Hardy to put himself into the picture, I'm not so sure if that's a wise choice. But if it does go down, I would not mind that at all. I wouldn't mind seeing that match at all. I think that match would be incredible. But guys, that is going to do it for this video. Question of the day. If the match does take place between... Actually, you know what? No. Better idea. Better question of the day. Which indie promotion are you guys looking forward to seeing when it comes to the WWE Network? Let me know in the comments below. I am very curious to hear what you guys have to say. And that is going to do it for this video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button. If you guys are new to this channel and you guys both love WWE and YuGiOh, definitely subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All three of my links, both of my Twitters and my one Instagram, links are down below. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.